this is John Baylor, the Kokomo Kid. We're going to work on some double stops today. I think of this as we're playing the melody and then we're playing a harmony note that goes along with it. For this particular arrangement of this particular song, I'm going to play my melody on a lower string and my harmony is going to be on the next string up from there. I'll do this in the key of G. So when my melody is on the 4th string, my harmony will be on the 3rd string. When my melody is on the 3rd string, my harmony will be on the 2nd string. I don't need to hit that harmony part every single time. Typically, I'll play the harmony on the first beat of the measure. So I'll do one note at a time, but then when I get to beat 1 of the measure, then I'll play 2 notes at a time. And I'll cheat on that a little bit. I won't exactly do it that way. One thing I want to stress here, make sure your melody stands out. If we're hearing 2 notes at a time, it needs to be clear to anybody that's listening which one of those 2 notes is our melody note. So you'll hit that melody note maybe just a little bit harder, maybe just a little bit earlier. There's kind of different ways to set it apart, but one of them is just if we hit the melody note every time, but we don't hit the harmony note every time, it makes our melody note stand out. We got to hear the melody, whatever else is going on. Now, kind of the tricky thing about this is, you know, obviously I can't just play any harmony note. If we're looking for, when I jump up to this note, for example, where in the world is a harmony note? I want it to be on the next string up. That could be here, well, that's the same note. 2nd string open and 3rd string, 4th fret. You know, which one of those would I want to be a harmony note to the melody note that I'm playing? I'm going to work out of a chord position the whole time. And when I played the song at the beginning, you might not have seen chords intact in my left hand. They were there, but I'm just doing a partial version of it. If I'm not playing the whole thing, I'm not going to bother fretting the whole thing. So I'm going to start this out. The first line, I'll give the chords for the first line here. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. So I just had a G, and then I went to a C for a short while, and then resolved it back to the G again. So my melody is going to be, I think of my melody as fitting into that G chord. Now I'm not fretting the whole thing, but this note right here, 2nd string, 3rd fret, is part of my G chord. And I'm going to use this most of the time. This is going to be my harmony note, because my melody is going to spend a lot of time on this 3rd string. So I'm just going to hit that 2nd string, 3rd fret as my harmony note. Chord change coming, sweet the sound. So when it comes to the chord change, I can't use this note anymore because I'm going to a C. That's not a part of a C chord. So I just switch my fingering around. Again, I don't need to fret the whole C. I'm just going to fret what that first finger is doing. That's the 2nd string, 1st fret. And my melody note's 3rd string open. And I'll work up to that point again. This is my G chord, just open. When I get to that D, I got one note that's held out for a really, really long time. And to kind of keep things interesting, I just start building. I haven't played a chord the whole time. When I get to that D, then I'll get a nice full chord there. And then, you know, kind of really dig into the part that comes next. So I use that to kind of build momentum a little bit. There's different things that I could do. Maybe I want to put just a little run, so I could also do... something like that, but I'll keep it simple here. This is kind of where I have the most attack of anywhere in the song. And I'm working a G chord again. It's like an F position, but I'm moving that up 2 frets. So it's a G chord. My high melody note is on the 2nd string, so I'm going to catch the 1st string as well. Both of those are on the 3rd fret. Other than lifting that finger up for all that movement that the melody's moving more right there than it does anywhere else, but my hand is not moving very much at all. Back to a C, a partial C. I could fret right here. The ending there goes to a D chord a little bit earlier than what you can see if you're watching my hands here. It's actually there's actually a D chord right there, and my melody note is playing this note that's not a part of a C. So I'm really playing that the same way I would play a G chord. If you want to be clear that there's a D right there, you can go ahead and fret that F sharp right here, 1st string, 2nd fret. It'll kind of sound maybe more like a B minor than it will a D. It's a D6 chord. That's the basic idea. We're running through this on Amazing Grace, but certainly any song you're playing, really, you can do this. You can find wherever your melody note is, you can find another note that's a part of the chord, that's a string above it. Sometimes you'll put the harmony below instead, but by working out of your chord positions, even when you work up the neck, you can still work out of chord positions and find harmonies. But it'll work for any song, and if you're playing with a band, that sounds good. If you're playing without a band, just all by yourself, then it's pretty necessary to do something more than single note lead playing on guitar all the time. So I do a lot of that solo guitar kind of program, so that means I do a lot of this, and as I kind of build this channel a little bit, I'll throw in some more techniques that I use to kind of get a full and interesting sound when I'm just one guy on just one guitar. So if you like what you're hearing, subscribe. Hopefully there's going to be a few nuggets here and there that are going to be helpful to you. Thanks for listening.